Today, we are going to learn about the federal system of government in India. To understand the federal system of government, we need to go back to the history. You all have studied in Standard 8 about the American Revolution. 13 colonies were struggling to gain independence from the British Empire. So in the year 1776, these 13 colonies, they issued a declaration of independence and they formed a federation to which they named it as the United States of America. This is how America came into existence. So when India got independence in 1947, there were provinces which were entirely under the control of the British Empire. And there were around 562 princely states which were ruled either by the Nawabs or by the Nizams or by the kings. And according to the Mountbatten Plan, these princely states were given three options: either to join Indian Union, or to join Pakistan Union, or to remain independent. So this task was given to Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, Mr. V.P. Menon, and our Prime Minister, Mr. Jawaharlal Nehru, to convince these princely states to accede their states to Indian Union. And these three people, these three leaders, they did their task brilliantly well. So 559 princely states, they signed the instrument of accession and they acceded their states to Indian Union. So a federation was formed of these provinces and these princely states, to which they named it as India. But our framers of constitution, they had learned history very well. They had learned from the American Revolution only. You all have studied about American Civil War. Now what was there? There were northern states which were industrialized, then there were southern states which were basically agriculture based. So these southern states, they were in favor of slavery, northern states were against it, and finally southern states, they declared that they are going to secede from the Federation of United States of America, which finally led to a civil war when president was Abraham Lincoln. And the southern states, they lost the war and they could not secede from the federation, but Abraham Lincoln was assassinated. So our framers of constitution, they had learned from the history actually. That's why I always say, learn history or learn from history. It's always learn from history. So they learned from history very well. So because they had the concept of Mother India in their mind, they were aware that if in future, if any of the princely states will also try to secede from this union, this should not happen, because then the concept of Mother India will be lost, because each state is considered as a limb of Mother India. So they formed this federation with the unitary bias. So we have a federal system of government with the unitary bias, where each state is an integral part of this federation and they cannot secede from this union. So India has a federal system of government with the unitary bias. Now in a federal system of government, there are two levels of the government according to the constitution. One is the central level, one is the state level. At the central level, it is headed by the Prime Minister and the Council of Ministers. So Prime Minister is the head of the center government. And at the state level, it is headed by the Chief Ministers and the Ministers. And the administrative powers are divided equally between the center government and the state government. We can't say that one of them is superior or the state governments are totally independent. No, this is never in the case of India. So the administrative powers are divided equally between the center government and the state government. And how does it happen? Because both of them, they draw their authority from one constitution of India. Central government and state government, both of them, they draw their authority from one constitution of India. State governments, they do not follow separate constitution. Okay, we have only one constitution. Now, in the year 1992, when our Prime Minister was Mr. Narasimha Rao, the third level of governance was also added, and that was local self-government. that was added by the 74th Amendment in the Indian Constitution. So local self-government works at the urban level as well as at the rural level. You all have studied about the Panchayati Raj system, block level, Zilla Parishad, that is here in standard 6 as well. So now there are 3 levels of government. One is center level, state level and the local self-government. And one interesting fact for you from the history is that this local self-government was introduced in India by Lord Ripon in the year 1882 when he was the Viceroy of India. He was a very genuine person who had replaced Lord Lytton. Lord Lytton was a governor who had introduced Vernacular Press Act, where the Indian newspapers in the vernacular language were not allowed to publish anything against the British government. But this person, Lord Ripon, he repealed that repressive act of Lord Lytton. So Lord Ripon, he repealed this act of Lord Lytton, and also he introduced the local self-government in India in the year 1882. But this local self-government was given the constitutional legitimacy in the year 1992 during the Narasimha Rao's government. Okay, so let's have a recap. India has a federal system of government with the unitary bias. Both of them, they draw their authority from the one Constitution of India, and administrative powers are divided equally between the state level and the central level. Okay, so for more such information, follow me on Insta and subscribe me on YouTube. If you have any questions, please write it in the comment section. I will try to answer. Thank you so much.